It's always the best part of my visits to Oklahoma, these ceremonies where, on behalf of the President of the French Republic, I present the Legion of Honor to American veterans of the Second World War. This afternoon, I want to tell you a little bit about the Legion of Honor, a little bit about the meaning of this ceremony, and a little bit about the heroes we honor today. The Legion of Honor is the highest French decoration. It was created by Napoleon I at the beginning of the 19th century, and since then, it has been awarded to military or civilian people, French or foreign citizens, always for the achievement of the greatest services to France.
A member of the Choctaw Nation, Lieutenant Ratliff was born in Blanchard. He enlisted in the U.S. Navy in August of 1942. His nickname during his years in service was Chief. Lieutenant Ratliff flew F-6F Hellcats off the deck of the USS Quezon Bay, a CVE-69 escort carrier, as part of the Fighting Squadron VF-74. On August 15, 1944, Lieutenant Ratliff's squadron participated in Operation Anvil Dragoon, liberating southern France. The squadron provided air cover for Allied troops and conducted seek and destroy missions. Lieutenant Ratliff has never forgotten Lieutenant Commander Harry Brinkley Bass, the commander of the VF-74, who was lost to enemy ground fire on August 20th, 1944. Lieutenant Ratliff was Commander Bass's wingman that day, and his commander ordered him to stay high and provide top cover while Commander Bass went after the ground target. Lieutenant Ratliff has said that Commander Bass was so eager to take on the enemy that he'd make us stay up and cover for him while he went after the enemy. In November of 1944, Lieutenant Ratliff began a second cruise, this time on the USS Saratoga, with the Fighting Squadron VF-48 flying F-6F Hellcats in the Pacific Theater, where he participated in operations against mainland China and supported the invasion of Iwo Jima. The Saratoga suffered heavy casualties from numerous kamikaze attacks, and Lieutenant Ratliff, who narrowly escaped being one of those casualties, aided in the recovery of bodies and giving comfort to the wounded. Lieutenant Ratliff's third cruise began in April 1945 aboard the USS Monterey, again flying F-6F Hellcats assigned to the Fighting Squadron VF-34. Lieutenant Ratliff, witnessed the signing of the unconditional surrender by Japan, which took place in Tokyo Bay aboard the USS Missouri on September 2nd, 1945. Lieutenant Ratliff was on the flight deck of the USS Monterey, which was anchored nearby, and witnessed the signing from there. He and his wife Juanita have 3 daughters and 1 son. And although he is now retired, he owns the 3R Bar Ranch, a third-generation family business, which has also been designated an Oklahoma Centennial Ranch.
Clarence Ratliff, au nom du Président de la République, nous vous remettons les insignes de chevalier de la Légion d'honneur.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, I first went to the European theater, and I was in the European theater flying out of a carrier in the Mediterranean. And I lost my skipper over there. He was one of the greatest men I ever knew.
What was his name?
Brinkley Bass. And they built a monument to him over in France. And they also, we named one of our small battleships, destroyer type, after him, USS Brinkley Bass. and I was his wingman.
What kind of planes were you in?
We were flying F-6F Hellcats. Yep. Over there in the European theater, I was on the USS Cassan Bay. I was on the USS Saratoga till the Japanese almost sank the Saratoga. And then from the Saratoga, I went to the USS Monterey. At the end of the war, the USS Monterey pulled right up beside the USS Missouri, and I saw the signing of the peace treaty with the Japanese at Tokyo Bay.
How long were you in the Navy?
About 6 years.
Once you retired from the Navy, what did you do?
Well, I went to school. First, I went to the OU, to school, and my mother and dad was living on the farm, and they thought I was doing too much, going to school and working half a day or whatever, and they wanted to trade places with me. So my wife and I went out to the farm, and that's where I live now, and I bought the farm from the family, and that's where I live. I was pretty ignorant to everything that was going on till I got here. Now I know.
So was it a good birthday present?
He certainly was. 94-year-old man. It was a good birthday present. Sure was. I feel very honored. Sure do.